Welcome to FRCMedia News for Thursday, May 14th, 2020. I'm Keith Tebow. This week we have the latest COVID-19 news. Governor Baker paid another visit to Fall River this week to acknowledge STAR's drive-through COVID-19 testing center. We hear a lot about food security, making sure people are fed while out of work due to the pandemic. We examine what's happening locally. State Senator Michael Rodrigues is one of the few legislators still working in Boston, and the construction of Fall River's replica Vietnam Memorial Wall is on schedule for completion. We'll have those stories and more coming up in just a few moments. It was a roller coaster ride this past week in terms of the number of Fall River residents testing positive for COVID-19. Most days saw cases in the 20s. Then on Wednesday, the city saw its largest number of reported daily cases to date, 97. We asked Mayor Paul Coogan during our weekly interview if he knew why.
When the people in the Department of Health left the office, they were looking at a number of like 30 or 40. When they got there in the morning, it was like 80. A number of positive cases were put into the system overnight, some dating back as far as 5.5. And that jumped our number. That happened once before, if you remember back, I want to say a month ago, one day we jumped about 75 numbers. It was the same kind of thing. What happens is, for some reason, if you look at the process, they go to a nursing home or someone's house, or you go to a doctor's office, they test you. They take the vial, they mail it to a lab. The lab gets the results. They notify the office, could be a doctor, and they send it to the Department of Public Health. Somewhere in this chain, there was a lag time, and it ended up being, in some cases, almost a week. They pile in all at the same time. I'd much rather have a number, let's say instead of 21, legitimately that day there was 27, 28. That would string it out, and it would cause us not to have this bubble. We get the numbers from the Department of Health. They go on to a reporting system called Maven, which then identifies the Fall River residents, tells us when they tested positive, and enters them into our database so we could look at it. And that's what happened. There were not 97 cases brought into the system yesterday. There was 97 cases reported into the system yesterday.
Over the past week, the city also saw the number of fatalities rise to 17. That's up about 50% over the week prior. With the number of cases of COVID-19 notably a problem in nursing homes, we asked the mayor how our long-term care facilities are handling any new surge.
Most of our nursing homes seem like they have a handle on it. That doesn't mean they have a handle on the number of positives in the thing. They have a handle on how to deal with it. South Point, for example, where I got to talk with 3 or 4 other people outside when I was dropping off the hand sanitizer, said they had maybe 27 positives in there right now. Half of them or more were asymptomatic, which adds to how difficult it is to fight this disease. You have people that are positive for COVID, even at an extended age, and they aren't showing any symptoms. So it's so tough to deal with this disease. That's why the National Guard came down and tested everybody and identified who was positive. They have them isolated. They're making sure they get the care they need, but they're not showing symptoms. Another nursing home up on Highland Avenue relayed a similar message to these people that are COVID positive, but they're not having any symptoms. So some of them, they don't even think they're sick, but they really are. And we have to keep a handle on it. Some of our nursing homes are really flying along. The Fall River Jewish Home, Catholic Memorial Home, Sarah Brayton seems to have a handle on it. They're doing a great job. Some had a little bit more of a bubble up than others, but right now, from what we're being told in our office, they have a handle on it. They know where they're going, and they're well into the battle, and we'll do whatever we can to support them.
Governor Charlie Baker paid another visit to Fall River this week, touring the drive-through testing center at the Stanley Street Treatment and Resources location in the South End. The governor highlighted STAR's role in combating the virus on the South Coast.
STAR's done tremendous work to provide support and services for different stages of COVID-19 and for many of the populations who struggle to deal with this on a daily basis. Their participation to increase testing, support contact tracing, and provide recovery sites for those in need will go a long way to supporting this region. The system of surveillance, isolation, and tracking is key to getting our arms around this virus, stopping the spread, and informing us as we pursue next steps. And we're grateful for your efforts here in Fall River and to everyone participating in this program statewide. It makes a difference, and it really matters. STAR is one of 36 community health centers that also participate in our Community Tracing Collaborative program. As we think about slowly reopening the Commonwealth, there are many things we still need to do as part of our daily routines. And I'm glad to see so many people here today wearing face coverings in public, maintaining social distance, and washing our hands frequently, and using hand sanitizer whenever we see it. But to really bring the fight to the virus and to get ahead, we also need to identify confirmed cases and the people they might have exposed to the virus, or who may have exposed them to the virus, their so-called close contacts. And that's where this contact tracing program is so important.
STAR CEO Nancy Paul said the organization has come quite a long way since the middle of March in being able to contribute to the fight against COVID-19.
We had no PPE, we had no tests, and within 3 weeks now we have tested over 1,000 people. Today we'll hit 1,000 people of testing. We have enough PPE and we have systems in place, and I don't know any other state that would have such rapid turnaround, and it's all due to the governor's leadership, and I want to thank him. I want to thank Merrill Manufacturing for the suits that our staff are using behind me, and for Matuk for the masks that our non-medical staff are wearing. So thank you, Governor. Thank Mary Lou for me, Sutters. She's done a fantastic job by your side. Thank you so much.
Earlier this week, Governor Baker announced a 4-phase plan to reopen the Commonwealth. He says he'll have greater details on which non-essential businesses will be allowed to reopen when the current stay-at-home order is eased on Monday. Now, even though many people have found themselves unemployed as a result of the pandemic, employers in the healthcare field are still looking for workers. Here's the latest local opportunities from the Mass Hire Fall River Career Center.
Here are more health-related job descriptions on the latest hot jobs list from the Mass Hire Fall River Career Center. Anesthesiology physician. Primacare, located at 277 Pleasant Street, has an immediate need for a full-time anesthesiology physician to administer anesthesia and monitor patients' vital signs throughout surgery. Job number 135-61928. Medical courier. Trident Care has an immediate need for a part-time medical courier to perform the safe and timely delivery and pickup of specimens, supplies, and reports in the Fall River area. Job number 135-62952. Registered nurse. Catholic Memorial Home, located at 2446 Highland Avenue, has an immediate need for a full-time registered nurse to monitor patients' health through observing and assessing records, symptoms, and reactions to treatment and care. Job number 135-61944. St. Anne's Hospital, located at 795 Middle Street, has an immediate need for these full and part-time positions. Nursing assistant, job number 135-60539. Registered nurse, job number 135-60544. Next Step Healthcare, located at 1748 Highland Avenue, also has an immediate need for the following full and part-time positions. Certified Nurse Assistant, job number 135-60641. Registered Nurse, job number 135-60631. For more information on these or other positions, visit Mass Hire JobQuest at jobquest.dcs.eol.mass.gov or call the Mass Hire Fall River Career Center at 508-730-5000.
Welcome back. As we mentioned before the break, Governor Baker will have more to say on Monday as to how the Commonwealth will begin to reopen. And that's welcome news to local businesses. One South Coast Chamber co-CEO Rick Kidder believes the governor will ease into business as usual, looking at one of our neighbors as a guide.
Governor Baker's going to look at the success or lack of success in Rhode Island as part of his way of assessing what's going to happen here. If I had to make my predictions, I think we're going to find a couple of things. Massachusetts, being physically a larger state than Rhode Island, is probably going to see some phased lifting of some of these restrictions that may be geographic in nature. He may release some restrictions on the Berkshires first. Our area has seen not the significant flattening that has been in existence in other parts of the Commonwealth. So right now, I think we're going to see a very slow and judicious approach. I don't think none of this is going to look like a light switch suddenly being turned on. We're going to find ourselves as we go forward with guidance that comes out on a weekly basis, which is going to be geared around, let's not have this thing spread any further. Let's not create a spike where a spike need not be created and then have to shut down the economy again.
Meanwhile, the chamber continues to serve its members and is making it easier for them to remain connected while facing financial hardship.
So one of the things that we're doing is canceling our write-off policy. We're allowing people to stay with us. We want to be able to serve the business community, and we're giving our members some options. If we will move their anniversary date wherever it was from January to June, if they want to pay us in September, they can pay us in September. If they want to spread their payments out over the rest of our fiscal year, we'll work with them to make sure that can happen. We recognize that for all of our businesses, large and small, cash flow is an issue. And it's an issue for us as an organization as well. But we want to stand with them. The second thing that we've done, and this will be also in the video, is that we have done something that I don't think any chamber in the country has yet done. We are offering free membership to anybody who is not a member from now until September 1. And that free membership allows them the luxury of participating in all of our seminars, all of our networking events, all of the things that we are doing. And then when we finally go live, cross our fingers, when we finally go live, they'll be able to participate as well. And then in September, they can make a decision whether they want to join the chamber or not. But at least what we have done in the meantime is serve the business community, which is our mission.
With so many people out of work during the pandemic, concerns arise as to how many of our people will continue to put food on the table. The United Way is working with over a dozen local food pantries to ensure the shelves are stocked and no one is turned away. Our Denise Pumaguaye spoke with two local food pantries and the United Way on how it's all working.
We would normally open 2 to 3 times a month, and we had about 300 people come in within the 3 pantries. But since the pandemic broke, we did about 340 households on that first day we opened up. So our numbers have jumped up tremendously. We're getting ready to open up the pantry again on the 16th of May and on the 23rd of May from 9 to 1. Right now, all restrictions are lifted. We don't have any restrictions right now. We've had a weekly Zoom call. The United Way has kind of put it together. We've all been working together. We have this network. It's all the food pantries that are open in the city and some other churches and volunteer groups and someone from the city. This has kind of brought everybody together.
We've almost been giving out food daily to people that have either stopped by the church, called the church. The past couple weekends, we've had drive-up food giveaways where we'll put it in the trunk of their car. Last weekend, I think we gave away 160 bags. We have one again coming up this Sunday as well. So the United Way connecting with us and giving us a grant this year really helped us. Mostly everything we give away is by donation. People donate. Several local stores have seen what we're doing and have donated money or groceries. So we're going to keep giving away until we run out.
For those folks that can't access, there are over 15 food pantries and soup kitchens operating in this COVID-19 world on a modified basis. They all have to be outside. They all have to have no touch contact, social distancing and so forth. Everyone has to wear a mask. So if folks can access those food pantries, mobile marts, whether walking, whether riding a bike, whether taking their car, they can have a friend or a family member pick up for them. That's the preference, because there is, I think we're fortunate in the greater Fall River area to have over 15 partners providing food.
The Marion Institute, in conjunction with South Coast Health, YMCA South Coast, and Mass Development's TDI program, has initiated Cooks for Community, an effort to partner a local restaurant with feeding those in need. Its latest venture features Java House Chew and Brew in Fall River, which is preparing meals 5 days a week, delivering them to the Fall River YMCA for families in need, and to a group of patients at the South Coast Centers for Cancer Care at Charlton Memorial Hospital.
We launched our third initiative of Cooks for Community in Fall River. The benefit of this program is that it's a win-win for two groups that we serve, both the restaurant industry that's also struggling, and then trying to work with an at-risk community group that needed help and support during this time. We're working with the South Coast Health Cancer Center to identify immune-compromised individuals that are in need and their families, and the Fall River Y to identify families in need that have either lost jobs or frontline workers. I worked with Jim McKeague and the Mass Development. He's a TDI fellow. So he helped me to identify some of the potential restaurants. 109 meals are being made daily by the Java House, Keith Parker and his crew. They are also delivering the meals. So that will extend from this week until the week of June 5th.
COVID-19 presents such significant distress to so many people. And then you add cancer or other types of illness, serious illness. And a lot of patients say to me, I feel like if I get COVID-19, that'll be the end of me. Then the financial piece just is an added layer of distress. So this program is really helpful. And so far, the feedback that I've had from patients is good. They're enjoying the meals.
We have a meeting every Monday that brings together all the partners that are providing food, not just in the greater Fall River area, but in our South Coast region. So the Marion Institute that does Cooks for Community, we're keeping track of each other and finding ways to support each other and make sure we're not overlapping and duplicating effort, but rather strengthening the support that we're providing to our communities. Communication is key during this time, and I hope to see that it continues in the same vein once we get out of the COVID era into the new normal, whatever that looks like.
Even though we all remain focused on the pandemic, the wheels of state government continue to churn. State Senator Michael Rodrigues, who serves Fall River, is one of a handful of legislators who works from the State House on most days. His responsibility as chair of the Ways and Means Committee is to introduce bills that are approved via unanimous consent during informal Senate sessions.
Since March, we have met twice a week in informal sessions. We've done dozens of bills. Most of the bills revolve around ensuring that our municipalities and local governments can continue to operate, given this pandemic situation that we're in. It's all done with unanimous consent. I literally spend as much time on the phone and in meetings, virtual meetings with the minority leader, Senator Bruce Tarr, and the governor and his secretary of A&F, Mike Heffernan, than I do with my colleagues from the local delegation, because there's so much going on right now, and there's such a need for collaboration. And collaboration starts with good, open communication. So as long as you have good, open communication and you express yourself clearly and concisely on what your interest is, what your objections might be to some of the proposals, there's always a way to work it out.
The Senate this week held its first formal session with members voting in person, adhering to social distancing protocols, or casting ballots remotely from their offices or even from home. Senator Rodrigues says the big issue facing legislators in the short term is the 2021 state budget, which is expected to contain about $5 billion less in revenue than proposed by the governor. The senator says dealing with a fiscal crisis today does not mimic past shortfalls.
Every prior fiscal recession has had as the root cause of the recession a financial reason, i.e., the Great Recession of 2009 and 2010. It was the collapse of the financial service industry. In 2001 and 2, it was post 9/11, the bursting of the so-called tech bubble. And we know how to soften the blow, to soften the harm caused by fiscal financial recessions using fiscal financial tools, such as injecting more capital into the economy, of supporting our small businesses through loans, through grants, by adding more infrastructure dollars to spur the economy. I think of the off-ramp off Route 24, exit 8A to where Amazon is. That was built using the Great Recession era dollars. However, this recession is completely different.
We'll have more right after this.
Thank you for considering a homeless pet today. I hope you enjoy what you're about to see, and as always, please feel free to contact the shelter before coming down to make sure that the pets you're viewing are still available for adoption. We can be reached at 508-677-9154.
Today we have Sandy. Sandy here, as you can tell, is a calico cat. She's almost 7 now. She's 6 years, 8 months to be exact. She is very independent. She takes a long time to come around to people, so consequently she has not been, the most social with people that have come to see her, unfortunately. She would definitely need a home that would give her plenty of time to adjust to the home, adjust to the new people that are there. She absolutely loves other cats. She's not a fan of dogs, however. She will get spooked by dogs. Children would probably not be, would definitely not be ideal, simply because they're far too active. So we're definitely looking for somebody that would be, very special to take her and to give her the patience and care that she needs. That someone is you. Come on down to 300 Linwood Street in Fall River, Massachusetts at Forever Paws Animal Shelter.
Today we have Jazzy. Jazzy is a 1-year-old husky mix. Jazzy has a lot of energy. She's super sweet. Being a husky, she's going to love being very active. So if you have an active lifestyle, if you like going on walks, hikes, she's gonna love to be there right with you. Jazzy loves other dogs, loves to play as much as she can. If you have a lot of energy and you want a dog who will be just as energetic and ready to go on the next adventure, Jazzy may just be the girl for you. So if you want to check her out, come on down to Forever Paws Animal Shelter at 300 Linwood Street and say hi.
Finally, plans are moving forward toward the construction of Fall River's replica of the Vietnam War Memorial Wall to be housed at Bicentennial Park. Memorial Committee Chairman Joseph Marshall says nearly a year after groundbreaking, the funding is in place, the wall panels are in-house, and the crews are ready to assemble.
We believe, with no other obstacles, that this will be done by the end of the summer. And we're not going to hold back. If it's done in September or August, we're not going to wait till November to unveil the completed wall, because we want people to benefit from it as quickly as possible. So I'm being very, very conservative when I say it'll be done in November, because we've got a sense it'll be done before that. Again, we don't know what other obstacles we could encounter, but that's the intent right now. The cooperation of everyone that we have spoken to, whether you're a veteran or you're not a veteran, is 100% behind this. And I've been on a lot of committees in the past, but this is probably, I'd have to think back, but this is probably the best committee I've ever served with. Everybody doesn't need their hands held or their egos stroked. everybody just does their job for the common goal.
Our Dinner Time With series continues tomorrow at 6 p.m. with a performance by local musician Louis Lehman. Check him out on Channel 95 and on our Facebook page at Dinner Time tomorrow, Friday at 6 p.m. That's all for this edition of FRC Media News. We invite you to continue to visit our website, frmedia.org, for the latest information on COVID-19, as well as our latest Channel 95 program schedule. This program airs Thursdays at 6 p.m. and Fridays at 5:30 p.m. For all of us here at FRC Media News, I'm Keith Tebow. Please have a great weekend, and we'll see you next Thursday.